Yes, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This time I'm in transfer news. Arsenal, that is in search for a striker, and their eyes are on that is Newcastle superstar, that is Alexander Isak, the 24-year-old Swedish striker, born that was in 1999, that was September. Is currently 24 years of age, has been a pivotal force ever since he broke through. That was from his hometown, that was in Sweden, until he got chances to play that is at clubs like that was Borussia Dortmund, that was 2016-2017, where he also managed to win the Copa del Rey. Managed to go to Borussia Dortmund to clubs like Willem, until that was 2019-2022, when he was signed permanently by Rio Sociedad, where he played that was 105 games, and he managed to score that is 33 goals. On the Swedish national team, has so far played that is 44 games, and all in all, he has allowed that is 10 goals. At Newcastle Football Club, he was signed at a fee of around £64 million, and that was in 2020. And so far has managed to play that is 67 games, that is the Barclays Premier League, and has also scored that is 37 goals, that is for Newcastle Football Club. In the previous season, or the just concluded season, was the third top scorer, that is in the Barclays Premier League. I'm talking about that is Alexander Isak, the Swedish professional superstar, who's managed to score that was 21 goals out of the possible 30 games that he managed to play, that was in the entire season. So with such performances and such legacy, I think that is a tip top at what Arsenal is aiming for. Given the fact that Arsenal is one of the teams that scored the most goals, that is in the Barclays Premier League, but amongst all the goals they scored most, they have no player that managed to score 20 goals and above. Their top scorer was none other than Bukayo Saka, who managed to score 16 goals, followed up by Kai Havertz on 13 goals, as well as Leandro Trossard, who managed to score that was 12 goals. So with the introduction of that is Alexander Isak on the Arsenal team, we think maybe Arsenal can even push for the title, given the fact that some of the few factors that have been deteriorating them away from the title is not having a consistent striker, because remember they have the likes of that is Gabriel Jesus, who only scored, I think, only like 5 goals to 6 goals in all competitions. So that showcases how a poor striker they have up front, and it gives opportunity to midfielders the likes of Kai Havertz to come and fill up that number, the likes of Bukayo Saka to take off, that is for the team, even when the strikers are up front. And that's why even the coach himself, Coach Mikel Arteta, decides to bench them off, reason being that they are not very productive or getting the goals. As per now, I remember in the Barclays Premier League, Newcastle managed to finish 7th. That was in the league, which would have granted them an opportunity to play in the UEFA Conference Cup. However, Manchester United's win of the FA Cup meant that Chelsea, that had managed to finish, that was 6th, its place was taken by Manchester United, and Chelsea was relegated or was pushed, that is to the Conference League. So Newcastle will be missing out, that is for European football, where last season they managed to compete in the Champions League. However, they finished last, or they did not get out of the group stages. So with such factors and even some financial fair play reasons that have been awarded, that is to Newcastle, could also impact that is Alexander Isak's stay, that is at St. James Park, where he has turned into a pivotal figure, that is at St. James Park. However, upon that, as Arsenal are pushing for this 24-year-old striker, also Newcastle has slapped a price tag of £200 million, that whoever wants this superstar, that is Alexander Isak, born that was in Eritrea, but raised, that is in Sweden, they have put a £200 million price tag on him, that whoever wants him should pay, that is £200 million, which I think, if at all they are very serious upon this, Arsenal could not go further to persuade that is young superstar, given the fact that the previous season they managed to incur, that was £100 million to the signature of that is Declan Rice, and I've never seen Arsenal spending £100 million in 2 consecutive seasons. So if Newcastle slaps such a price tag, maybe Arsenal could miss out on him. However, I would just like to ask my followers, commenters and sharers, that what can Alexander Isak add to Arsenal Football Club. First and foremost, Arsenal have a very good midfield, full of creative players, better than the Newcastle team, the likes of, that is captain himself, that is Martin Odegaard, the likes of Bakayo Saka over there, the likes of Declan Rice. If at all they come and they deploy, that is Alexander Isak as their main striker, we think even the 21 goals that he scored for Newcastle in the previous season, this time he can even double this figure or even go beyond this, given the fact that in Arsenal there are many opportunities over there, but only that the lack of a world-class striker are some of the key attributes that have been sending the team down. 2 seasons in a row, they have finished 6th. The previous season, 1 season ago, they finished 5 points away from Manchester City, and in this just concluded season, they only finished 2 points away from Manchester City, which was a battle for the title until the last game, when Manchester City managed to win 3-1 up against West Ham, and Arsenal also managed to win, that was 2-1 up against Everton. However, Manchester City managed to win the trophy by 2 goals. So I think if at all Arsenal can try to persuade Newcastle to cut on the price tag of, that is Alexander Isak, and they introduce him to, that is the Arsenal Football Club, managed by coach Mikel Arteta, I think this could be Arsenal's season, or next season could be Arsenal's season, to either take a Champions League or to take a Premier League, because some of the laxities that have been missing out in the team are all under this young man, that is Alexander Isak, who we think is now a world-class striker. Last season, he managed to score, that was 28 goals in all competitions in the games that he played for Newcastle. In the Premier League alone, he managed to score, that was 21 goals. Subscribe, like, and comment. I'm Isaacson.